Dear FatShark, and this is going to be a little chat that we're going to have about expectations, realities, and overall health of the game when it comes to penances. And in particular, we're going to talk about veteran first and then go to some of the other ones and explain why they're not healthy for the sake of your game, why they're not realistic, and things you can do to change these so that they are more realistic and more fluid in gameplay. Now, I understand that cosmetics are a huge thing, and especially when it comes to penances, you want them to feel like you've rightfully earned them. And I agree. But there's a difference between rightfully earning something and having to know life and have 3 other people suffer because you want to get something done. And the perfect class to talk about that first is the veteran sharpshooter. So I'm going to pull up your penances, and I have them done. And I've done them legitimately. And that's why I think I have a personal say on how much bullshit they are. Deadeye is fine. Make every shot count. Physically impossible for the average human and probably any human. You want us to be a heresy threat? No problem. I can accomplish that. I'm pretty sure most people at this point who were in the pre-beta release could also accomplish this. With no ammo remaining, again, very, very plausible, very reasonable. But 100% accuracy, that's not possible. Unless you cheese it through the Alt F4 method, or if you do it by telling your teammates that you are doing this penance at the very start of the mission. You go through as a melee character, which is not how sharpshooter should be played at all, and ammo dumping by ourselves into the shield of the assassination boss. That's not fun, that's not fluid, and that's not good for the balance of the game. A way you can fix this is 75% accuracy. If you want to make it even a smidge harder, I could also argue that 85% accuracy should be fine. But I'm also asking that you give me a stat block at the end of the game that tells me what my accuracy was. I know some of your hitboxes are a little wonky because it's a fresh game. Completely understandable. And I'm here. I get that. But you have to give us a little bit of leniency until you either make sure that every hit that I ever make is completely factually there for the hitbox. Because I've been hit while dodging, and I've hit enemies and never got a hit marker. And I know that I hit them because the bullet hole's right in their torso. It's just not possible. So please, please, change this one. And then the next one, obviously, we're going to talk about is on Overwatch. Unless, I have 3 other people who are willing to be my babysitter, it's not possible. I did this one legitimately, and I had 3 people babysit me for 45 minutes just so that nothing could hit me with melee. Again, that's not fun for me, that's not fun for them. If you want this to be reasonable, alter it to be somewhat similar to the Preachers, where I can't take this much purple health bar from melee, or like this many wounds. This is just unacceptable. The next one is the Psyker. The Malus Monstranum, again, unrealistic, unreasonable expectation. You expect a Psyker on Heresy Threat to deal 90% of the damage to a monstrosity with its brain bursts. And then also on top of that, they have to get the kill. Meaning their name has to be the one that hits the kill in the top left that says they've killed this. It's unrealistic. There's no veteran, there's no zealot, and there's no Ogryn that is going to allow a Psyker to do this, because this would take probably 2 minutes, if not longer than 2 minutes. I'm giving the benefit of the doubt at 2 minutes. It's not good. Instead, I say lower it to 50. 50 seems reasonable for one person to do this and then also get the kill on top of that. If you want to make it even harder, but still within the realms of plausibility, maybe 75%, but 90 is way too hard. It's not plausible or realistic. Preacher, just a flesh wound. Complete the full mission in under 20 minutes. Plausible and possible. On Heresy, it might be a little bit difficult, but it's plausible and possible. With less than a wound's worth of health remaining at 75% for the time. Again, not plausible or possible for a lot of people. I say maybe knock off another 10% or do another 25, bring it down to 50. I know for a fact that most preachers aren't going to be the kinds of people who like to heal a lot. They like to do the low health build, and forcing them to basically play as a gunner through an entire mission when their specialty is melee just doesn't make sense. It's not good or healthy for the game. And then the last one I need to talk about is the Skullbreaker. And they have two that I think are semi-unreasonable. Friends will be friends is a little unreasonable, but not entirely. You just have to have one person stay with you the entire time. That's if you can actually keep up with any one of your teammates the entire time during a mission. You have Grimoires, which are bugged. You have Scriptures, which are 3 of, that people are going to be running around and looking for, and you want to be optimal about it. You don't want to be stuck in a group. You're going to be split apart. And that's the risk-reward of Scriptures. But this forces the Ogryn to basically just be a dog and have their nose up somebody's ass and just sniffing it the entire time and hope that, they don't lose track of that friend. It's a little silly. But you did nerf it from the original one where you had to do it with all 4 teammates, which was incredibly insane. But I would look at this one again. Maybe not having to have it with a living teammate. It could be just any teammate or just, one of the teammates specifically. You could call it babysitter. You can make it where they have to just sit on top of a veteran player the entire time. That would be incredibly easy and possible. And then the last one is the heavyweight champion. On Heresy Threat or higher, you have to knock down 6 enemy Ogryn. You actually made this harder than you had it in the pre-order beta. You only had to do 4. Now you have to do 6. But you also include Plague Ogryns now. But even then, you should only have 1 Plague Ogryn and maybe a couple Bulwarks coming at you. But 6 is unnatural and unhealthy, especially on Heresy. I've played through Heresy for about 40 hours now out of my 120 hours that I've put in so far. And I can tell you for a fact that I have not seen 6 enemy Ogryns since you guys did your nerf for elites and stuff. I've seen 4 at the most, and it was 2 Bulwarks and 2 Crushers. Eventually, later, I saw 2 Reapers down a little bit further away, but again, that leads to unnatural healthy gameplay where this Ogryn has to tell his squad, hey, I need you guys to move and bring these guys all the way over to the Reapers on Heresy difficulty, where they're getting melted by these bullets by the Reapers, and expect them to just be cool with it while you just bull rush them. Now, I haven't really looked at any of the other penances, and I just want to look at these ones specifically for classes because, yes, I understand you want people to play your game. Yes, I understand you want high numbers and you want people to buy your cosmetics and stay around for a long time. I get it. But what you're doing is akin to what Back 4 Blood did. Now, if you don't know, I want you to go dig a little bit, FatShark, about what Back 4 Blood did. They had it where the difficulties were incredibly high, the spawn rates were incredibly high, and it was very hard to do anything on the hardest difficulty for Back 4 Blood, unless you were in a 4-stack communications where everybody is on top of everything at all times, and they are playing to the best of their ability, and they're a part of the 1% of players who are able to do that. It's a little ridiculous to assume that anybody and everybody who plays your game is going to be doing that. You need to bring it down and tone it down a little bit like they had to do, and they revamped their entire game because of it, and now more people play it. But back on release for Back 4 Blood, after the first week or two, their numbers were lower than Left 4 Dead 2, a game that was out for almost 10 years at that point. Maybe a little bit over. And I love your game, and I want that to happen. Just please take a look at these penances. Take into consideration what I said. And hopefully, you can agree or try to fix some of these. Because nobody really wants to work that hard for a simple cosmetic. And especially since penances don't really do anything for us except give us a new cosmetic. Thank you.